Opeoluwa Oni is an accomplished professional with a distinguished career in business management and leadership. He is an executive director at LifePage, a leading real estate company in Nigeria. He also serves as a director in several companies operating in diverse sectors, including construction, fashion, and education. He is the vice president at Olive Cooperative Multipurpose Society Limited, a community-focused organization that prioritizes affordable housing solutions to support low-cost home ownership. As the convener of Simple Success Tips, an online training platform, with over a decade of professional experience, Opeoluwa has worked with a multitude of organizations, starting as a marketer and progressing to roles such as brand manager and product manager. His extensive background in marketing and project management positions has made him a sought-after expert in the field. He has had a profound impact on the sales force, having trained hundreds of individuals in real estate marketing. Opeoluwa's contribution to the field extends beyond corporate realms, as he also facilitates the Real Millionaire Bootcamp and Royalty Life Development Institute, where he imparts his knowledge and expertise to aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals. His wealth of experience and versatile skill set make him a valuable asset in any professional endeavor.
We are going to straight into what we have for us this evening, and we are looking at mistakes to avoid when buying land in Nigeria. Mistakes to avoid when buying land in Nigeria. So I know that quite a number of us have various expectations, and I've been seeing a whole lot of feedbacks, expectations in various groups and all of that. So tonight is going to be an impactful night, and I'm so excited because the lineup of speakers that we have are practitioners. These are not people, they are not theoreticians, they are all practitioners, and I'm privileged to be one of them. So tonight, we'll be looking at mistakes to avoid, whether you are buying from the direct markets or you are buying from the secondary market, so the primary market or the secondary market. So these are mistakes you need to watch out for. They are very, very important because land in itself is what carries value in real estate. Land in itself is what carries value in real estate. So when we look at real estate, what gives real estate value is land. And the land is derived from the fact that we do not currently, as I'm talking to you now, have any technology that can help us to manufacture more land. So there are no technologies that can help us to manufacture more land anywhere in the world. So land is a carrier of value. And of course, simple economics. So when supply is finite and the demand keeps increasing, of course, value goes up. Very, very simple. These are basic economics. So currently, there are no technology, and the fact that the land that is even available is shrinking. Is shrinking. Desertification, flooding, all of that is happening all over the world. I would like to start with some of these statistics. Currently now, the whole Earth, maybe when we move to Mars, when we start living in Mars, like Elon Musk is planning to make all of us to start living in Mars. At least for now, the only home we have is Earth. Okay, the whole Earth, 71% of the Earth is covered by water, 29% is covered by land. These are very valuable documents, but I have to do a quick check to know whether I'm still accurate. So 71% is covered with water. 71% is covered. There are no proven technology anywhere that can make us to live and survive on water yet. So that one is a fact. So the only one that we are still trying here and there is reclamation of land, of course. So there are reclamation of land. So, however, out of that 29%, 9.7% is desert. Then 6.9% is just deserts. I'm sorry, 9.5% is desert. Then 6.9% is mountain. They are just mountains, mountainous areas. So the only habitable land that is available in the world is just 12.5%. Just 12 12.5% of the whole half. And the same 12.5% was available 20 years ago, is available now, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. So what invariably means is that the population of the world keeps increasing. So the population of the world right now is about 8 billion or near billion thereabout. Over 8 billion people now currently live in the same world. And about 50 years ago, the population of the world was less than 7 billion. So over 1 billion people have been added to the world, but the supply of land that they need has not been added for people to. So this is what gives value to land. And we need to understand this. And we need to understand this. So before I go into the mistakes you need to make, there's another thing I want us to understand. That's it. The land as it is usually go through 3 different stages when you acquire land. Most of the time, we acquire land basically for the purpose of land banking. That's the first stage, land banking. Oh, the place has a prospect anywhere in the world. People go there, they acquire it for land banking, for agriculture, for all of those things. That's the first stage. After acquiring it for land banking, as development, as population begins to grow, the demand for houses begin to grow and all of that. Then the next thing is that most of those land that were acquired for land banking or for the purpose of agriculture, we now begin to repurpose it. So it now moves to the next stage. And then that next stage is housing. And most of the time, because most of these places that are acquired for land banking, especially in this part of the world, people erect bungalows and all of those things. And before you know it, the whole area is filled up. And the same area now, from land banking to buying land to build, we now move to urban regeneration. So that same piece of land at some point has been used for land banking. That same piece of land has been used for housing. That same piece of land. Now, because the land itself is what carries value. So most of the time, there are land in places like Yaba, Ebutemeta, they are just housing bungalow. In fact, the cost of building on them is not as valuable as the cost of the land. So the cost of the land is now more valuable than the building on them. So what usually happens is this: you pull it down. You do what? You pull it down and you now build. So those are the 3 stages land usually go through, metamorphose through. And of course, urban regeneration can keep happening over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you see, right from the beginning, even currently now, as of this morning, we all woke up to war. The Israeli-Gaza war just started, boom, this morning. And what is the basis? It's land. It's land. Israeli want to expand. This one are not expand. It's land. So land is the most valuable. Land is the most valuable of it. Very, very valuable. Very, very valuable. So we are going to be looking at acquiring land. So what are the mistakes, especially in Nigeria, in a place like Nigeria? Nigeria is very peculiar. I know we have audiences all over the world. Quite a number of us are here on Zoom and also live on YouTube. Audiences all over the world. But specifically, we're going to be narrowing it down to Nigeria today. So what are the mistakes you need to watch out for when you, don't want to make these mistakes? You do not want to make these mistakes when you're acquiring land in Nigeria. Number one mistake that you need to watch out for is the mistake of purpose. The mistake of purpose. You need to define the purpose why you want to buy that land. There's a popular saying that if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable, right? So this purpose, you need to define the purpose. And you see, when it comes to purpose, there's really, when acquiring land, because I've asked someone that question before, I was engaging someone, I say, why do you want to buy this land? I said, no, all my friends are buying, that's why I want to buy. I said, no problem, it's a good purpose. That means you are in the right circle of friends. That's a positive peer pressure. So purpose, you must establish the purpose, right? You must establish the purpose. So why am I buying this land? Am I buying this land because I want to do land banking? I often advise people, you want to do land banking, give it 10, 15 years. It has to be minimum 15 years before you can truly get the value of the land banking, right? So it can be okay for land banking. I just want to buy 5 years, and I want in the midst of that 5 years, I want to start building. So there are different land that you are buying for different purposes. You don't want to mismatch purpose. So it's possible, and of course, purpose will now help you to determine the location that you need to pitch your tent. So number one is purpose. Define that purpose. It will help you to pitch your tent, know where to pitch your tent. It will help you to know how much to spend. And it will help you to know what to do on that land. That is very, very important. So number one is purpose. Then number two is budget. Number two is budget, of course. Especially in the economy that we have right now. And budget is very, very important. You cannot be looking for a house in land in Bagada, or you cannot be looking for a land in GRA Port Harcourt and be carrying the budget of Egbe or the budget of Afam or Eche, or you are carrying the budget of Gwagwalada. You are looking for land in Abuja, in Lugbe. So budget is very, very important. Have, of course, you've said the purpose. The next is budget. Have a budget that suits that purpose that you have defined. That is very, very important. Have a budget that suits that purpose that you have defined. And you can make your research. Of course, I mean, the internet will help you. Okay, now that I've defined my purpose, I want to do land banking. You can get consultants, talk to people like us, so that we can help you we can even give you clarity. We can give you clarity on where to put, do land banking here, do short-term ownership here, do this here, do this there. We'll help you and make your research, and so that you'll be able to put appropriate budget. If it's 1 million naira that you want to use to do land banking, so how much will 1 million naira be able to buy me in places like Lugbe? How much will 1 million naira be able to buy me in Ekwe? How much will 1 million naira be able to buy me in Ofada? How much will 1 million? So you'll be able to. So that's before you even go out to start hunting for land that you want to buy at all. You need to define that budget. Then number three mistake that a lot of people make is location. Yes, I mean. It has been said when it comes to real estate, location. Yeah, location matters, yes, but location is not the only reason. Location is not the only reason. Location is very, very important. I'm talking about mistake number three now. Location is very, very important. In as much as location is very, very important, but you must not make the mistake of location, because your purpose will help you to know. For instance, you can't say you want to do land banking and you want to go and buy a food. No, Papa. Even if you have the money, there are locations that they eat their peak. There are locations that they literally eat their peak. That the rate at which land will appreciate in places like Ekpe, in places like Ibejuleki, even still Ibejuleki, in places like Elepo, in places like Mowe, is not the same rate at which land will appreciate in places like Bagada. The rate at which land will appreciate in Eche, in Gwagwalada, in Kubwa, is not the same way land will appreciate in fully developed area. So you need, that purpose is very, very important, so that you will not carry your hard-earned funds, buy the land in a place, and you say, no, I bought that land 25 million naira, and 10 years. Now, in fact, if you are not careful, you will sell it for 15 million naira. Yes, because at some of those locations, the margin for increase of course, it won't be that much again, because most of those areas are literally, in fact, you probably will not even be getting a land. You'll probably be buying a house and be demolishing it. So most of those locations are not locations that you can buy and hold. They are places you buy and build immediately. Location is very, very important. Then number 4 is sourcing. How do you source? A lot of people make mistake of sourcing. So who do you use in your sourcing? Who do you use? You need to ask yourself, do I have the expertise to source myself? Or do I talk to agents? Right? Or do I want to buy directly? Do I want to source directly by going to the land seller directly? Or I want to use real estate company? Because when you miss it, when you are sourcing, you can have you can have permanent problem on that project, owning that land. Sourcing is very, very important. It's very, very important. Sourcing. Am I buying from primary market? Am I buying from secondary market? So if I'm buying from primary market, how do I deal with these people at the primary market? If I'm buying from secondary market, what title does it have? Right? So all those things are, so how do I take ownership? These are questions you answer at the place of sourcing. These are questions you answer at the place of sourcing. So you need to source right. You need to source right. You don't want to make the mistake of sourcing. Number 5 is due diligence. You've defined your purpose, you've defined your budget, you've looked at the location that suits all the above, and you know, okay, how do I do the sourcing? And you started the sourcing. You must not make the mistake of due diligence. Don't ever make the mistake of due diligence. And you know why? Land, you don't buy land, pack it, put it in your pocket, and abscond with it. No. You buy land, you leave it there, and they'll give you some piece of paper, and they'll tell you that you are the owner of the land. So sourcing is good, but due diligence on how am I going to take ownership in terms of title? Who truly holds this land? So who is going to transfer ownership to me? I always tell people, see, if you are not experienced in this area, just get a lawyer. And please, not all lawyers, in as much as I respect the legal profession, not all lawyers are expertise in the area of property. Some are civil lawyer, but get a respected, well knowledgeable, well experienced real estate lawyer to guide you when it comes to due diligence. And you see, that's the advantage. Buying from companies like LifePage. LifePage has gone through all this with experience. These are practicals. Everything I'm sharing with you are not, I don't think you can find it in any textbook or Google it online. They are literally from experience. And we have burnt money at all the stages. So, and you are getting this for free, of course. So due diligence. Due diligence is very important. Don't miss it in due diligence. You know, from your due diligence, you know the right questions to ask. From your due diligence, you even know how to negotiate. You will even know how to place value on the property. Because the property that you are buying, that you are probably going to still ratify from government in the future, you know, no, but let me do my math very well. So due diligence is very, very important. Are we together? If you are with me, give me the number 1. I need 10 people to give me number 1. So I just want to know that you are with me. Give me the number 1. Okay. Wow. Thank you very much. Okay. Then after due diligence, the next thing you do, and the mistake you must not miss, is negotiation. Negotiation. Well, depending on the purpose why you are buying, but most importantly, you do not want to make the mistake in negotiation. When you make the mistakes of negotiation, you can be buying too expensive, or you can be buying problem. And let me just be blunt. I'm trying to look for the right word for you. For instance, now, let's say you are buying a land that is a little bit swampy, and you intend to build, and you did not negotiate very well. By the time you start the foundation of that land, you ask yourself, oh boy, who sent me a message? So negotiation is key. If you are not experienced, carry who know road along. It's not a crime. Pay for consultancy. And it's very important. So you need to negotiate, envisage everything, especially land that does not have title. The land that has title and the land that does not have title, you cannot buy them at the same rate. It's not, of course, because you need. Why, of course, in Nigeria, I don't know, there's no state in Nigeria that there is a place where the cost of CFO, the timeline of CFO, they will advertise, oh, he's of doing this, and all those things, and everything is a lie. It's when you start the process, that's when they will be telling you to go and bring the birth certificate of your great grandmother as part of it. So they will give you all manner of condition. So that negotiation, of course, you make sure that you have done all the other things, due diligence, but you negotiate it at the lowest possible price. Then number 7 is buying. Somebody has asked me questions several times. Which one is buying? Yes. When you are buying, the price you are buying, who are you are buying from? Especially when you are buying from the primary market. There's a saying that when you are buying from the primary market and buying from Southwest, and one person sign for you, are in trouble. You have bought you have bought one chance. So buying, you must, and see when you are buying, one thing that you must also recognize is the fact that you need to, especially when you are buying to resell or you are buying to build a house and you want to sell the house. Okay, somebody should list the point. Don't worry. you can watch the replay or something. Maybe I'm moving too fast or something. So, but you can watch the replay. So, when you are buying, if you buy too expensive, you have bought your way out of the market already. If you buy too expensive, you have bought your way out of the market. And it's very key. So negotiation and buying, they work hand in hand, right? In terms of negotiation and buying, they work hand in hand. And there's something when you are buying too, you don't pay. Some of these things are just consultancy stuff, but you don't pay up once, even if you have all the money. Don't pay finish. I mean, I don't know how best to put it. Don't pay up, even if you want to, especially unless you are buying from a real estate company. If you are buying at the primary markets, let's just leave it there. Let's just leave it there. Number 8 is possession. Possession. So what does it mean to take possession of a land when you are buying a piece of land? See, Nigeria, if you make the mistake of possession, you buy land, carry title, carry document, you now travel, you come back, you meet house. People will be living there. People will be living I own the land. Story. You now go to court for the next 70 years. So possession is very important. Fence it round immediately. So as you are buying, you're keeping money for fence once on one side. In fact, part of your budget should be cost of fencing. And you see, one thing about fencing is this: you can do it in phases. 2, 3 courses round, then you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, just like that. Okay. So possession. The next thing is documentation. Documentation. So from the point of due diligence, you are already factoring what type of documentation are you going to do. And documentation is what gives you right of ownership. If you don't have the right document, people can mess you up. Somebody will just come with one title and just mess you up out of that property. So documentation is very, very important. Yes, you can do it in phases. From family receipts, if you are buying directly from primary market, or if you are buying from the real estate company, if you are even paying in installment, your monthly receipts is part of your documentation. Survey is part of your documentation. At the end of the day, you are giving a deed, it's part of your documentation. Okay, now you want to process it to a CFO. If it has a CFO, you want to get a consent on it, it's part of your documentation. You keep what? Piling it up. Piling it on. In fact, there's something new today. Video is part of your documentation now. The way they were signing is part of your documentation. So that somebody will not tell you that I did not sign. Right? As they are transferring ownership to you, it's part of your documentation. As you are visiting the site, it's part of your documentation. So all these things are very, very important. Then number 10, mistake you don't want to make is the mistake of occupation. See, things happen in Nigeria. You can buy land, fence it, have CFO, and you don't visit the place in the next 10 years. And somebody will come, use your fence, build inside your fence. You get it? So occupation. Make sure you have someone on that land. There are different ways you can occupy. I mean, I have a video on 12 things you can use, how you can occupy a land, 12 ways you can occupy a land. You can occupy. You can do farming, or you can just put different, of course, somewhere very close to where I stay. A family, how they occupied is that they just brought in all this land. They brought them in because there was contention. So immediately they got a court order. They don't have the money to build, they don't have the money to fence. They were a very smart way. They just brought in land to come and be doing bola on the land. All this, iron bender, all those stuff like that, they were just doing it on the land. So they were able to occupy the land. So occupation is very, you see, when you put someone on a land, if there's of course, if there's going to be an issue of encroachment, or maybe somebody wants to come and encroach on the land, that person will give you first-hand information. So that is very, very important. Then, as I round up, is community. Don't make the mistake of community. The community can save your life, save your money, save your investments. You treat them as stakeholders when you are buying a piece of land. So community can range from the people that sold the land to you, to your neighbor that is working. Community is very, very important. And for instance, now, probably you have bought a land in a place that is upcoming, and you don't have enough money to fence, and you know your neighbor, or you're on the left-hand side. Yeah, sir, can we do the fence together? It's part of community. Joint efforts. Community is very, very important. Somebody beside you is fencing. Why don't you offer the land to the person? I say, sir, since you want to start building your own house, don't worry, use my land as compound for now. You have, in a way, use the person beside you to secure your own land. You understand, community is very, very important. So there are different creative ways you need to carry your community along. For those that are buying large expanse of land, do not for any reason neglect the place of community, okay? Do not for any reason neglect the place of community. Then, number 12, which is where I'm going to be rounding on tonight. You see, don't make the mistake when you are reselling. When you are reselling, if you get too emotionally attached to property, you make that mistake. There are times, you see, when you are doing land banking, that's why it's called land banking. I'm still advising someone for a SSC. You have hold on to a land for a period of time. You want to sell it. When you sell it, what you do is that you hold on to a part of the fund, and you use part of that fund to, okay, for instance, now some people did, let's use Lekki Expressway as an example. Let's assume that some people did land banking in Lekki Phase 1. Probably the land appreciated and all of that. They sold in Lekki Phase 1, took some profit from it, used the remaining money to do land banking in Chevron. They sold in Chevron. Take part of the money in Chevron, pick it up, buy something in, let's say, Eleko, for instance. They are selling in Eleko now. Pick part of the money, buy something in Aviod. You see, it's supposed to be a continuous thing. So you don't just do land banking and cash out and leave. Or be too emotionally attached to a place. I like that area. See, real estate is investment. Investment and emotion don't go side by side. You bring the numbers and logic to the table. That's the way it works. You understand? So do not be emotionally attached. Don't be desperate to sell. There are two people that lose in every real estate transaction. Anybody that is desperate to sell and anybody that is desperate to buy. So this is where I'm going to be dropping the curtain